Hey there everyone. I was hoping I wouldn't feel the need to make another video about this, but I had a Discord incident that really demonstrates more clearly than anything exactly the kind of bullshit that trans men have to tolerate constantly. To be clear, I'm not interested in this Discord server anymore, and I was already on the verge of leaving because of how this weird, unhinged rant the admin had about families are the fundamental units of society. Yeah, I wasn't gonna gel with that. So I don't really miss him or anything, but I'm certain that if we treated trans women the same way we think it's okay to treat trans men, you would also be pretty upset by this. For some context, they were already mad because after someone had pointed out that Gooseworks' archive was removed from a website, I think Tumblr or something, I pointed out that the Amazing Digital Circus seemed like it was pretty racist after I learned more about it, such as the Juneteenth release, the heavily white-coded characters, and the concern about known racist dog whistles used in live streams by some of the cast. They were upset after finding out that I hadn't even watched the show. After all, we all know that every single one of us played every single level of Bubsy 3D to realize it was dog shit, so it's only fair that I do the same for the Amazing Digital Circus. Thus, people predictably got triggered and found my most recent videos about misogyny against trans men. Here, the person in white is responding to my previous video, exclaiming that they hate trans men because they hate all men. Then they make a joke about forced feminization. Of course, a cis man is not going to be really bothered by these things because these jokes don't really impact them. But to trans men, this is a constant aggression that we have to tolerate from trans women who simply do not view us as equals. Many trans women really wonder why trans men detransition at startling rates when they are constantly actively encouraging this kind of behavior through constant jokes about forced feminization and how we made the wrong choice. It's very clear that they don't like people born with vaginas around their circle. Having seen this unoriginal and obnoxious misogyny since this person was quite literally a toddler, I decided to clap back to teach them a lesson. Trans men actually have detectable levels of estrogen, and when I miss a shot, my estrogen levels return relatively quickly, leading to a noticeable effect. In a way, trans men are actually highly hormonally active in ways that most people completely don't understand. Thus, I joked to her that because my body already synthesizes estrogen, I'm clearly the better transgender person. Now, to be clear, if a cis woman said this to a trans person, I'd slap their shit. But let's consider the context of which this was posted. A trans woman, already triggered by the possibility that she might be racist, was literally saying that trans men are, inherently wrong and that they should take estrogen. She predictably got very upset with my joke, which is interesting because she seemed to think that it was just a joke, was a completely perfect defense in return for saying that she literally hates trans men. And the moderators agreed. Apparently, literally saying I hate trans men is less transphobic than jokingly reminding a pre-hormonal trans girl that trans men still produce more estrogen than her and she should probably zip it. Interesting to know that the reality of trans male bodies is so offensive to trans women like this. It is very fascinating that whenever the speaker comes from a point of the majority, it is a joke. Would you still be saying if it was a joke if I said I hated all trans women? Would you still say it's a joke if I said that all trans women should forcibly masculinize themselves? Oh my gosh, I can already hear you all having the fucking vapors in the comment section. Trans women will regularly say these things about trans men and then blame them for being pressured into detransitioning. Honey, I don't think it's them that convinced them. I think it was you. Anyways, I think this is a really good demonstration of my thesis that there is a group of trans women who are allowed to pass extremely transphobic judgment within their communities without recourse. I hope this makes you realize that you were gaslighting the shit out of me this whole time when you said that this shit doesn't happen. And I hope you realize that every time you joke about these things, you are causing real damage to the trans community that not only threatens our existence, but threatens yours.